Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're talking about the Lake of Kalandra. It seems to be a lot of drama behind the entire league about loot. And in my opinion, I don't think the loot is that bad. Come on guys. I'm just an average player. I'm just a normal guy. I'm not doing any special strategies. I'm not an Omega juicer. I'm not doing MF group juicing play. It's only 5 days into the league. And I'm having a blast. I'm having fun just like I do in every league. Even in Sentinel League, we had this rough start. Everybody on Reddit was up in arms. And it turns out Sentinel League was really awesome. Who would have thought? With all the Reddit hate and negativity that you saw. You would have thought the league was awful. Maybe you skipped it and missed out on the awesomeness of the Sentinel League. But in my opinion, I thought Sentinel League was awesome. So far, from what I've played in League of Kalandra, straight awesome. I can't complain. I really can't. From the start of the game to where I am now, loot hasn't been an issue. And I haven't found anything extraordinary, like a Mage Blood, like an Omniscience, like an Ashes of the Star. I haven't found a single item that would just be so much, oh, you just got lucky. No, I haven't found anything like that. I've just been playing the game like I always do. I do the same strategy. Not really a currency strategy farmist, strategist type of person. I just play the game. I don't have any awesome strategies like certain types of streamers who always find the best farming strategies. I'm not like that. I'm just a normal guy here to give you my 2 cents on why the League of Kalandra is awesome and why it's not as bad as you think. I progressed all the way from campaign to maps. I've had no trouble getting to tier 16 maps. And that's not by luck. It's by experience. I do the same thing every league. Ever since I learned about this, once the passives came out, I remember when these were first introduced, people were complaining about not getting the maps they needed. They were like, man, I'm not progressing. Turned out that you needed to get these map passives that help you get the tier higher. So I learned that as soon as this came out. I looked up a video on how to get maps, and apparently a lot of people were having trouble. Turns out you just need to get these. They move these here, and you get these, and bada boom, bada bang. You get into tier 16 maps very easily. Your progression is not slowed down at all. I've had no issues getting currency to roll maps. This may not look like a lot, but I don't run out of alchemy orbs. I have 13. I don't run out. And you could be even more efficient. I'm not as efficient. You could go expedition. You could go to fusion expedition strategy and get tons of currency. But I don't focus on fusion. I do it whenever I have fusion. Whenever I have this stuff, I do it. I don't target farm it per se. So I'm not doing any strategy. I'm just playing like a normal, just doing the content that I want to do. I allocate the things that I want. I don't always allocate the best things. So I'm doing ritual. I like ritual. Don't get me wrong. I found some good stuff from ritual. And a lot of people probably don't like ritual because maybe the loot is too chaotic. Maybe it's not as quick, to get that currency. But I like it, so I do it. But yeah, League of Kalandra's been awesome. The Lake of Kalandra, I never got up to the high points of Lake of Kalandra where people would say it would be too difficult compared to the league. So I never got to that tier. I never got to the tier 13 of that. I think there's like tier 13 I think I heard, but I never got that far to experience that. But after they did buff the Lake of Kalandra, I did notice that the drops was way better than I was previously getting. So, hey, I can't be mad about that. A lot of things with the harvest change. I love harvest. This is amazing. Being able to use all this, amazing. I never used harvest early in the mapping experience, so the feedback about not getting enough of the harvest currency never affected me. But I can understand, because you need to be able to get enough of that to be able to use it, especially early on. So that makes sense. So guess what? GGG is buffing that. That's great. They heard the feedback. They're making the change. So what's the thing about the drama? It's all about this thing with Empy in these group juicers. So apparently these guys play the game a lot in a group. They juice maps up, 100% delirium, lots of expensive fragments, and the loot they got from that was very lackluster compared to the previous leagues. So GGG came out with what they're working on, and they explained the difference or the change in the loot. So it looks like the direction GGG is wanting to go in is they want to make arch nemesis monsters rewarding and make juicing less rewarding. A lot of people you see complain about, what is it called? The vision of Chris, right? They would say, this is a slideshow, I can't see anything. When they're juicing, I can't see anything. Visual clarity. Is this what PoE is? I feel like I'm not playing the game right if I'm not juicing, if I'm not MF juicing in a group. I feel like I'm not playing the game right. Have you ever heard streamers say that, or people say that? Maybe they heard that and maybe they're like, hey, let's try to make some changes to make it better. Don't get me wrong, I love juicing. Well, not because of juicing, but because I had to. Once I got to a certain point, if everybody's juicing, the group juices have diluted the market so much that the unique items that you did find, even if they were useful, they found so many of them that the market is flooded and those items are worthless. So, the only way to make currency, you gotta juice just like they do. And you gotta find the items that are so rare. You gotta juice all day to find those unique items that are so rare, like Headhunter, Mage Blood. And that's the only way you can make big currency from a big drop like that. But maybe they're trying to make a change so that when you fight arch nemesis mobs, you get rewarded for a tough battle. Don't get me wrong, I understand that not everybody can win, so maybe some arch nemesis monsters I do defeat don't drop as good as loot. So maybe the loot is not as good every time, which is normal. You don't win every time. But I think they will go through, they will balance this as they see fit. And I think this will be pretty good. If you're not a group juicer, you probably are not seeing any effect. At least I don't believe you should, because there's no reason for you to be affected as much if you're not juicing. If you're playing the game just as you were, if your strategy wasn't some kind of juicing strategy, you're most likely still making good amounts of currency. You have people who do heist, you have people who target farm expedition, you have people who target farm legions, you have people who target farm bosses. They have specific strategies that they utilize, and then you have the juicers. The most people affected by the change is the juicers. Does that mean that everybody should be crying about bad loot? No. What I'm seeing is the epidemic of negative feedback loop. So, a guy, he doesn't get the loot he wants. Maybe he's not getting the currency that he wants. You know, he's like, man, I haven't found a divine yet. Man, I haven't found this item yet. My character is not where I want it to be. It's the loot, of course. It's the arch nemesis loot. It's the change they did. I saw Empy's video talking about the loot. They didn't get anything from all that juicing. So maybe that's why I'm where I'm at now. Maybe that's why I don't have all that cool stuff. So that creates that feeling of not getting the loot you want, and you're trying to find something to blame rather than just playing the game, or trying to find a strategy that suits you, or that could help you. Like heist, you could do expedition, you could try to do a strategy, or you could just play like I do, just play as normal. I mean, in every map you're getting mechanics that give you great loot. You don't have to juice to get great loot, and most likely you are not juicing like Empy and his group. So you are not going to be affected like his group is. And then again, take a look at the gear of these people complaining. Cracked out gear. Come on, guys. You tell me the loot is so bad you were able to get cracked out gear doing millions and millions of damage to be able to even do that juice content? The loot was so bad that you got cracked out gear, headhunters, mage bloods, squires. Oh my god, the loot is so bad. You gotta be kidding me, guys. Come on. How are you gonna sit there and watch a guy complain about loot sitting with a mage blood, cracked out gear, complaining about loot. Maybe juice loot is not as good as it used to be, but the overall loot of the game looks like it got you to where you are now. It's sitting pretty nice. Am I wrong? They didn't just get the items and pull it out of a hat. The loot came from somewhere. Somebody dropped the loot and sold it to you, or you dropped it. So come on with the mess. I ain't buying it, bro. You in cracked out gear. The loot is not as bad as you saying. Maybe that specific strategy you did and your group used to do to make mirrors and mirrors and mirrors is not as good as it used to be. And maybe you can make an argument that, hey, this affects you too, guys, so you should complain. While they sitting in cracked out gear and they're not making mirrors upon mirrors that they used to. So they try to get you in an uproar to complain with them when you never even made that kind of currency in the first place. See my point, guys? I feel like something weird is going on, and I feel like it just doesn't add up. That's just my 2 cents on everything. I'm going to keep playing the league because I think this league is amazing. I think people should be talking more about all the cool stuff and the new strategies that people are finding. Have you heard the memory maps? Maybe you haven't heard the memory maps are because of all the crap from Reddit. There's so much cool stuff. What about Ultimatum? The new Rage gloves. Where's the builds about those? All overshadowed by all this crap on Reddit. Don't let it ruin your experience, man. This league is awesome and I'm moving forward. I'm playing every day because this game is fun. I'm having so much fun playing this league. I'm looking forward to all the new loot, seeing the ultimatum, seeing all the new changes. I want to see the memory maps. I want to see all the new stuff. I want to figure out the secrets. Is there a secret boss in the Lake of Kalandra? Is there secrets to the Lake of Kalandra? I want to see all this. This is why I ignore Reddit. And I'm tired of going in streams and seeing people complain all day. Talking about loot while they're sitting in cracked out gear. I'm tired of it. There is legitimate feedback, but GG is responding and fixing things as they go. Stop complaining about the specific loot with juicing. You're not juicing anyway, and your gear is cracked out. The loot came from somewhere. Jesus, I feel like people are just overhyping this negative feedback thing, man. It's really annoying. And it's really hard to find someone to hang out with that keeps it positive. Okay? The juice map loot is bad. That doesn't mean the entire game is awful. That doesn't mean the entire league is awful. The things that they did address that are legitimate, Lake of Kalandra, harvest currency, they fixed it. Arch Nemesis monsters, they readjusted. They're fixing things. There's positive outlooks. They're communicating. Okay, maybe they had a sleight of hand with the underhanded change to the Arch Nemesis with the loot on juice maps. I get it. But let's not focus singularly on that future. Many of us do not even do that. I'm not sad about Empy's group. They print mirrors and they ruin a lot of the economy in my opinion. I think it's bad for the game. So them making less currency and quitting, I don't care. You make 5 mirrors in the last league. In this league, you made 2 mirrors and everybody in the group made less currency. Whoop-de-doo, you're in cracked out gear. You're making tons of currency anyways. And just because you don't make as much as you used to, you're going to try to cause an uproar. If you want to quit, if that's the only way you can play the game, that's fine. I understand that people like that method, so maybe they can have a medium ground. Maybe they can find some medium for them. I don't know. But it's not, I don't feel like it should be an outrage as it is, because there's not that many people juicing like that. There's just no way every single person complaining about loot is playing the game that way. And if you're complaining about loot, is that how you play? Is that how you play the game? Everybody was just group juicing? There's just no way. The economy would be so diluted. It would not be worth group juicing if everybody just did that same thing. It just wouldn't. And that's just my rant on everything. I want to try to keep it short and sweet because I want to get back to playing. But yeah, that's my thoughts on everything. I hope everybody's having a great league. I'm enjoying the league. I think a lot of negativity is overshadowing the greatness of this league. And I think GGG will improve the things as the league goes on. And this will probably be one of the best leagues ever. I mean, it'd just be as good as the Sentinel League. They fixed a lot of things in that league. Got right as rain. But yeah, every league, the same thing happens. Everybody complains. If there is things to complain about, yes, there is certain things to add feedback to. And GGG will address it, and then we'll fix things as they see fit. But this thing with empy and the group juicer crap. Come on now, I'm not crying for those guys. Those guys make mirrors and mirrors every single day, and now they make less mirrors. You think I'm gonna cry for them? No. And people need to stop crying for them if you don't play like that. If that's the only way you can play, you're watching this video right now, the only way you can play the game, Path of Exile, is group juicing. That's the only way you can play. Any other way just doesn't work. It's not fun for you. Well, you can quit. And if GGG doesn't want their game to be like that, they have the choice to make it less about juicing. If you don't like that, you can move on to another game. But I advise, give it a try. Find some new strategies. Do you have to make 10 mirrors a day? Is 5 mirrors not enough? Is it because of efficiency? Oh, last week I made 10 mirrors a day. Now I'm making 2 mirrors a day. I don't want to play anymore. Make that make sense, guys. I can understand people not wanting to play if that's all they do, but come on, really, everybody's going to be in an outroar because they make less mirrors? Just my 2 cents. Bro, I ain't complaining. I'm keeping it real here. I'm having a great time. Alright. That's my 2 cents on everything. I'm just tired of the negativity. People crying about a guy in his group, in the group juicers. It just really gets under my skin. Oh, they make 2 mirrors a day now instead of 10. Let's all cry to GGG about how bad the loot is. Meanwhile, everybody complaining has cracked out gear. Amazing gear. The loot comes from somewhere, guys. Whether it's Heist, Legion, Monsters, Bosses, the loot comes from somewhere and they have it on. And they're complaining. Imagine a guy with a Lamborghini, right? And the way he got the Lamborghini, he had a specific strategy him and his friends did to make money, enough money to buy Lamborghinis. He was collecting Lamborghinis. He was a collector, right? Man, they installed some kind of regulation. He can only get 1 Lamborghini now every month, instead of the 3 or 4 he was getting before the regulation was put into place, or the changes to his income. How sad. He can only get 1 Lamborghini compared to the 2 to 4 Lamborghinis he used to get. Am I supposed to be sad for him? Am I supposed to go out and picket and cause an uproar because he can only get 1 Lamborghini a month now? I don't understand it, guys. I don't understand it. That's my 2 cents, man. Every time I'm on Reddit, every time I post, I'm just like, show me who's having trouble. Show me their character. They always post the empy video, and they post a video of some group juicer in cracked out gear. And it's frustrating because that guy, he thinks the loot, because he's not where he wants to be in the game, is because of the loot. Because of what those juicers are saying. Does he even look at the gear on those characters? How did they get that loot? How did they get that gear? And he's crying. He's like, man, I don't have the gear. I don't have the drops. I don't have the currency because of the loot. Look, the game is in a bad state. I'm not getting divines. I'm not getting loot. Here's the video. They posted a video the dude in cracked out gear, Mage Bloods, the amazing gear to be able to even do the juicing content. Here's this guy sitting with just normal gear, and he doesn't realize the strategy to even get to the point they're at. So he could be having a blast if he had the gear they had. So if he knew the strategy to get the loot that they got already, he would be having even more fun than he would ever dream of. But instead, he's just crying because he saw the video of them saying that the loot is bad. So he's watching people with 5 Lamborghinis complaining about getting 1 Lamborghini, and he doesn't even know how to get the first Lamborghini. Make that make sense, man. Okay, my rant's over. Okay, that's it. I could go on forever about this, but I'll let it end there. Peace, guys.